Then she began to play, plucking and strumming at the guitar. The notes were clear and rich in meaning. They came slow and fast, loud and soft, soft and hard, and hung in the air, unsure of where to go. Then, as in a coordinated attack, rank after rank, legion after legion, they penetrated all the available minds and hearts, penetrated and emerged with individual, half forgotten memories, painful and cheerful, simple and complex, and heavy with them, sank into the sea like stones, or light with them, drifted on the back of the sea breezes onto the stars. I'm going to delve into various sections of the book to give you how it traces from one particular scene to another. It says, a wireless message landed on Vedant's table one evening as he came back from touring the district. It was from the police headquarters in Mumbai, announcing the arrival of the governor of Maharashtra to Kundal. 3 days from now, just 3 days from now. Vedant panicked. Vedant freely admitted to panic. The head of state was arriving in a Naxalite-infested district, and the Naxalites were the irreconcilable ideological enemies of the state. But Vedant was not alone. There was panic everywhere. The panic flowed over the phone wires from the police headquarters in Mumbai. His Excellency is coming to your district. Yes, sir, I got your telegram. Is everything safe for his visit? Fuck, what kind of a question was that? I'm not sure, sir, Vedant truthfully replied. What do you mean you're not sure? This is not the reply expected from a police officer. Vedant understood the limits of truth. That truth has a limited clientele. Yes, sir, I will be sure. Remember, if anything happens to His Excellency, it will be entirely your responsibility. So you can imagine how bureaucracy plays such a part and what goes on. I'm sure none of you here seem to be unfamiliar with the way that bureaucracy works. So I'm sure you know what he's talking about. I wish I could be communal. Life would have been easier for me, much clearer. Everything would have been in black and white. Hatred is the lazy, the easiest, simplest emotion. It's hardwired into us. It is the most primitive, the most compelling, and despite several veneers, arises effortlessly to the surface, so effortlessly that it is difficult to resist. But resist is what I must, and resist is what I do. I am what has been termed secular pseudo. We now all need to be pseudo-secular if we are to have some humanism against this bludgeon of fascism. I'm going to stop there because now we'd like to throw it open and have our panelists talk about the various issues that have been raised in this. Anil, would you like to start first?
Yeah, he is going to before, but I need people to know who he is.
All right.
Yeah. She has this habit. She really likes to take over all the proceedings. Dolly, you know, yeah.
I've never been second fiddle to anybody.
I listen. Introduce Anil to, who really doesn't need an introduction, but it's always nice to introduce our friends properly. We all know Anil Thakur to be a columnist. I've known him for a very long time, and I've been a great admirer personally of all the different topics that he writes on. His articles have appeared in a diverse range of Indian publications, like the Times of India, Midday, The Hindu, Gulf News, many other. He's also been the editor of a couple of very interesting publications. One, of course, was the Illustrated Weekly of India, The Independent, Midday, and Sunday Midday, and way, way, way before that, I remember your debonair days. I mean, you still look debonair, but your magazine was called Debonair, which, am I right?
Well, a lot of people remember it, yes.
Yes, they do. Yes, it had some.
I keep meeting at airports, especially doctors and engineers.
Oh, yes.
Who said, oh, we grew up with debonair. So then I realized that what doctors and engineers did when they were supposed to be studying.
Leafing through your magazine with some pretty lovely images.
And getting inspired to be better doctors and engineers.
Yeah. And can you imagine all the millions of Indians who must have been inspired thanks to Anil Dharkar?
For those of you who haven't seen Debonair, and I suppose most of you haven't because it was a long time ago, it's the Indian Playboy. And just like Playboy, it was famous for its literary merit. We carried these wonderful long interviews, short stories, etc., etc. And a few pages here and there are photographs, but anyway. You know, we all have an idea of, at least the world outside has an idea of what IAS officers are. And I call them the 3 Bs. The bureaucrats, babus, boring. But Sumit Mullick is the one man against this perception. And I came across him because I've been peripherally in this diplomatic field as honorary consul for Luxembourg. And so I attended a few of these receptions, which, dare I say it, in this august company are extremely boring. But all of you have to attend them, which I didn't. And Sumit Mullick, as the head of protocol, had to speak in so many of them. And his speeches were anything but boring. They were lively, they were witty, they were very clever. So I said, who is this man? He's not like any IAS officer I know. And then I got this book, and I realized that he is very unlike any IAS officer I know. In fact, if you read the book, right in the initial pages, it starts off with a sex scene which is so vivid and so detailed, shall I say, that I don't know how he's going to face up being in the office with his assistants and his clerks if they read it. How are you? Going to manage? He has banned the reading of the book in his office. So, peripherally, the story is very topical, actually. I don't know if any of you remember. There was the scandal of the governor's ADC, who was an IAS officer, and he was accused of beating his wife, who was also an IAS officer. And it, I think, starts with that premise, and I presume he's then fictionalized it. Right? Pure fiction. Okay, it starts off with that. It starts off with an incident which we all recognize. Any of us who have been in Bombay for the last few years. It then takes off on its own. What I want to know is, there's a police officer there called Meenakshi, right? Is there a role model for that? Because if so, I would like to meet her. She is bloody sexy. Right. Okay. So we now know a bit about Sumit Mullick's fantasies. But I will leave the rest to the other panelists here. Thank you.